Nope, 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 nope. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to do it. I know a lot of you sick, sadistic son of bitches only tune in probably to hear me say it. Like, even if you see a picture of me, you think about it, and you hear it without me having to say it. That's when you know that the gimmick is over, baby. But I'm not going to do it. Nope. Nope. Who the fuck am I kidding? You know you live for this every week. You want to hear me go ranting and raving and crazy about Bears football! Bears football! And oh boy, do we have a whiz-banger of a game coming up on Sunday afternoon. It's an extravaganza of NFC North suckitude. The battle for the toilet is at stake. It's the 1-4 Minnesota Vikings traveling to the third-rate dump of a stadium that looks like a UFO took a huge Chicago-sized hulk of shit in the Roman Coliseum Soldier Field to take on Matt Eberflush and his Chicago Bears. Bears football on Sunday afternoon at the lake. What else could you ask for? Probably any number of other things that would treat you a lot better in life than this fucking one inevitably will. Well, let's take a look at this matchup. Coming up is a divisional rivalry that goes back 60 plus years of for the Vikings. You know, probably not a surprise to a lot of people. This is a team that won 13 games last year, but kind of felt like it was smoke and mirrors and kind of a fluke. The House of Cards is kind of collapsing quickly this year. I don't think that surprises a lot of people. Certainly doesn't surprise me. As I referenced before, they're sitting at 1-4, coming off of last Sunday's loss to the Chiefs, 27-20. Hey, at least they hung in with them. They were competitive. And if we use Bear fan logic here, the Vikings were a lot more competitive against the Chiefs than the Bears were, so the Vikings are going to win this game by like 20 points, right? I mean, that's Chicago math. Of course it makes sense. It's about as reliable of a count as Chicago voting totals ever are. We count the live ones and the dead ones sometimes twice. Anyways, unfortunately for the Vikings, an already rough season took a bad turn where Justin Jefferson hurt himself in the fourth quarter, got a hamstring injury. He's now on IR. Huge blow, losing arguably the best receiver in the NFL from this offense that really is dependent upon him. Meanwhile, their defense is bottom third of the league against the pass and in points allowed. Back to that offense, Kirk Cousins certainly, he's not elite, but a lot of teams wish they had a quarterback as good as Kirk. It's just the reality. But they really lack balance on offense. They're a team that's 29th in rushing yards per game, and it's not like they can't run the football at all. They just don't choose to. And some of that you could say, well, some of the games that they're in, they get kind of into shootouts. They fall behind. They got to try to catch up. They're dead last in time of possession, but they've only run the ball 91 times in the first 5 games of the season compared to 204 pass attempts. Like, that is a huge disparity. This is a team that, frankly, could use a little more balance in their offense and is going to need some more balance now that Jefferson is out. Meanwhile, for the Bears, they finally got their first win of the season last Thursday night over the Commanders, 40-20. They only had one fucking job, lose one more game, and maybe Eberflush would be flushed down the toilet into Lake Michigan forever. But no, the Bears just had to fucking win this one. So the disaster continues. Justin Fields is finally putting up some big numbers in his past couple of starts, looking certainly to come into this one against another dog shit defense and build off of that. Got some major Trubisky late season 2020 flashbacks here. The defense finally had a game where they gave up less than 25 points, so that's something I guess you'll take, right? But the defense still stinks. It's an Eberflush special all fucking day. He should still be fired. Just like Gutless Getsy. Put him up. Put him up. I'm the offensive coordinator. My offense scored some points the past couple of weeks. All the while ignoring, like, the courageous defensive strategy of Riverboat Ron and the Commanders of, hey, here's DJ Moore. He's the one guy in the passing game that could actually fucking beat you. So let's just not double team him. Let's just not cover him consistently all fucking game. That'll go well. But for the Bears, it's not just defensive problems, their offense. Their backfield is incredibly depleted. It's going to be Dante Foreman time on Sunday because Khalil Herbert's out, Roshan Johnson's out, Travis Homer's out. Not a lot of depth there. So we got to look forward to a whole bunch of Foreman and Kari Blasingame in the backfield. Oh, boy. For the Bears, though, there is some positive news on the injury front. They should be getting back Kyler Gordon. He was a full participant in practice this week. Eddie Jackson is questionable, but has a chance to play. Jalen Johnson looks like he's going to be back in the lineup. Good thing, too, because Terrell Smith is out with injury. So they're getting some people back still without Braxton Jones on that offensive line. But it is what it is. Last year, the Vikings won both of the matchups against the Bears, 29-22 in Week 5. Remember the Smith-Marset game, the fumble, fuck it, eh? And then 29-13 in Week 18 when the Bears had one job to do, that was go the distance and finish the tank, and by God, they fucking did. But you look at this game right now, and forget all that other stuff. Both teams are 1-4. Lose, and your season is over. You might as well go into tank mode because you're not coming back from it. 1-5 is just too big of a hill to climb for either one of these teams. So whatever team loses on Sunday, they need to acknowledge their reality, fire sale, and start thinking about the 2024 draft. When you look at the betting odds for this, not surprisingly, even though both teams are 1-4 and the Bears are the home team, the Vikings are still favored by 3. And that feels right because they've played some competitive games against Philadelphia and Kansas City. Meanwhile, the Bears are gagging up huge leads to the Broncos. And even if we go back to last Thursday night, they were trying to gag up that game to the Commanders too. Let's be real here. The over-under on this one is 43.5. I'm sorry, but I can't buy that. That feels way too low. Both of these defenses suck donkey dick. I'd be stunned if you felt good about smashing the under. Smash the over on this one all fucking day. In terms of keys to victory for both teams, for the Vikings, get TJ Hawkinson off early. The Bears can't cover anybody, but they really can't cover the middle of the field. They can't cover tight ends. So get to Hawkinson early, get to him often. Work over the middle of the field because there will be opportunities there because TJ Edwards and Tremaine Edmonds haven't shown that they can cover shit this year. Defensively, get Danielle Hunter in the backfield. Hopefully Marcus Davenport can show you a little bit of pressure. You want to sack Justin Fields 3+ times. Get some heat and pressure on him early because if you do, it's going to get him out of rhythm. He's going to be uncomfortable the rest of the day. And then, this sounds very basic, but it is kind of basic, right? For the Vikings, get some defensive stops in the first half, get a lead. The Bears are not a team that want to play from behind. The way they are structured, they want to be a front-running team. You put some pressure on them by jumping out on a bit of a lead. I'm not saying that you sit on it, but you could watch the Bears kind of implode. Meanwhile, for Chicago, same type of thing. 10+ targets for DJ Moore. It's not that fucking hard to figure out. He's really good. Find ways to get him the ball, period, even if you force it to him. And something around like 12 to 14 combined targets for Darnell Mooney and Cole Kmet. Again, the Vikings secondary stinks too. They can't cover shit. So throw on them. And then obviously with the depleted backfield situation of the Bears, they've got to get Justin Fields more involved as a runner, especially because that's going to slow down Danielle Hunter coming off the edge. I mean, you'd say, well, it slows down Marcus Davenport too. Well, he fucking sucks. They ain't worried about slowing him down. But you got to get him more involved in the running game. And then you got to force the Vikings to run the ball more. It's not something they're comfortable with doing. It's not something they really want to do. And when you think about the Bears and their defense right now, I have much more confidence in their run defense in relation to their pass defense. Because their pass defense, they can't rush the passer and they can't cover for shit anywhere on the field. At least in the running game, you got Andrew Billings in the middle. Like, they can play the run adequately, right? So, force the Vikings into your zone of adequacy. This one could be fun, though. This could be a shootout on Sunday. The spread's 3. It kind of does feel like a field goal game. And you wonder, are the Bears picking up a little momentum, especially with their offensive performance the past couple of days, facing a couple of shitty defenses? Well, they're probably going to face it. They're probably going to put up some more points this week because they're facing another shitty defense. Meanwhile, though, the Vikings know how to score some points, can do it consistently, and are facing a very shitty defense of the Bears. So give me the Vikings, 27-24. That's right. It's time to fire up the Bears football tank, baby!